A recent article co-published by the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate and ProPublica outlines the difference between policing here in Orleans Parish and Jefferson Parish. The investigative journalist behind the article is Richard Webster. He interviewed Jefferson Parish residents, both white and black, who are calling out the sheriff's office for what they say are racist policies. Webster wrote specifically about a situation involving a black woman named Sojourner Gibbs. He joins us this morning with more in his reporting. The article is a long one. It's a very good article and very enlightening too. Let's talk about the incident we were just talking about with Ms. Gibbs.
Sure, and I just want to say it was also, the story was done in partnership with WWNO as well. So Sojourner Gibbs, she is a resident of New Orleans. She was going to Sam's Club in Jefferson Parish to get groceries for her family's Juneteenth celebration. She's a diabetic. She felt herself going into diabetic shock in the parking lot. She was screaming for help. Someone called 911. Jefferson Parish deputies, 4 of them showed up, and they, she said that they accused her of being a drug addict. They didn't believe that she was going into diabetic shock. They dragged her out of her car, slammed her into the ground, handcuffed her. The whole time she said she's screaming, I'm a diabetic. And there was a white woman there, Alicia Dardar, who filmed the entire incident. And, she was horrified. This was shortly after the George Floyd incident. She said that she thought she was witnessing another sort of George Floyd incident. And this was very traumatizing for Sojourner Gibbs.
And her blood sugar level was so low, she could have died.
Yeah, it was 17 milligrams. 17 milligrams per deciliter, anything below 40 could be fatal. And when she was in the ambulance, one of the paramedics told her, she could have died.
And you compare Orleans and Jefferson. Orleans used to have a lot of problems too, but then the consent decree came in. That changed a lot of stuff.
Sure, and what we found, so in New Orleans, the police chief is appointed by the mayor, can be fired by the mayor. The police department's budget is approved by the city council. There's a consent decree. So there's a lot of layers of oversight in New Orleans. In Jefferson Parish, the sheriff is an elected position, so he or she is only held accountable to the voters. They're predominantly white, conservative, so may not be overly concerned with allegations of abuse or misconduct by the black and Hispanic communities.
Well, former Governor Edwin Edwards once told me that the Jefferson Sheriff is the second most powerful person in the state of Louisiana.
Sure. There's that famous quote from Harry Lee, who said that it's the closest thing to being a king in the United States. Since 1979, there have only been 3 sheriffs of Jefferson Parish, despite what some people say are sort of overtly racist policies. Harry Lee famously said that he would arrest any black person caught driving in a white neighborhood, and he served 28 years.
Yeah, we all recall that. And this is one incident in your article. You cite a whole bunch of others.
Sure. There's the case of 14-year-old Jamal McGee, who, he and his friends were caught stealing a car. He ran. He was on the ground face down, unarmed, and one of the deputies shot him in the back. The sheriff's office subsequently withheld that incident from the public. The mother tried to get information. They stonewalled her. One deputy claimed that they didn't even know that he was shot. There was another 13-year-old who claimed that he was beaten up by deputies. And, the families never get answers when they're trying to find out what happened to their children. And
you did make some comparisons with the JPSO and Louisiana State Police.
Sure. The state police have come under a lot of scrutiny recently, and, there's disparities in shootings. And in Jefferson Parish, we found over the past 8 years, more than 70% of the people deputies shot at were black, despite black people making up only 27% of the population. 12 of the 16 people killed were black. So there's a lot of similarities.
And are you guys suggesting what should or could be done? Because the sheriff would not respond to you, correct?
No, we sent multiple requests and he didn't respond. The main thing that a lot of people want in Jefferson Parish are body cameras. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is an outlier in that they have refused so far to get body cameras, and this is widely accepted practice across the country.
And you think that would make a big difference?
It couldn't hurt, because a lot of these incidents, there's no documentation of what actually happened. So the families are forced to accept the sheriff's word, and there's a lot of distrust in the communities towards the sheriff.
And quickly, what was the final outcome in the Sojourner Gibbs case?
So she filed a complaint with the sheriff's office through the Internal Affairs Investigation Division, and they never interviewed her. They never interviewed the woman who filmed the incident. And then 3 months later, she gets a letter in the mail saying everyone's absolved of wrongdoing.
All right. Well, thank you very much for talking with us. And the article is a very enlightening one. It's well worth reading. It's important to note that we did reach out to the JPSO for a comment, but have not heard back from them.